I want to talk to you a little bit today about formatting characters and, in other words, fonts, and paragraph, a little bit about paragraph formatting in PowerPoint. It is different than it is in Word. Some of the tools are the same. We just have a much greater graphic capability in PowerPoint than we do in Word. So let's get started. I've kind of prepared this little two-slide show for us. I'm going to select this text. You'll notice that in typing this text, I got an uppercase, a word with an uppercase letter and one with a lowercase, and sort of a mix of lowercase and uppercase letters. And I don't like that. I want everything to be in uppercase. All of these words to start with an uppercase. It's called title case. And so I'm going to select my characters. If I use the Shift F3 function 3 key combination, I can toggle through what we call sentence case. That's where the first letter of the sentence is an uppercase, everything lowercase, then all uppercase, and then all lowercase. But what I can't get to is where the first letter of all the words are uppercase. To do that, I need to come up to my font group, and I need to use this change case button. And so if I click on that change case, I can come down to capitalize each word. I get a capital for each of my words. I'm going to take out the capital for the end just because it doesn't seem correct to me, and I'll live with that. So that's changing case. I can change size, color, all of those things. Obviously, I can, using my font group, I can change my typeface. You know that you've got literally dozens and dozens of fonts installed most likely in yours, and because of live preview, if we just hover, we can see what it's going to look. You can see that my name, characters in my name are changing to reflect whichever font I am now hovering over. And so you can get a preview of what it might look like before actually applying the change. Let's go to the second slide a minute. Now I'm going to go ahead and select my title, and you'll notice that in my font group you're familiar with bold, italicize, and underline, and I'm going to go ahead and remove all of those properties. But this is not a tool normally available, for instance, in Word, and if you'll notice, it's just the shadow style. And while shadow doesn't print well, it can be effective in a presentation, in a graphical presentation. I'm going to select my list, and actually I don't like what I've done here again. You'll notice that's a mix of case, so I'm going to fix that. I'm going to select my list and talk about how we can arrange our list. Right now this slide is all weighted at the top. It's like, here's all this weight, graphic weight, a lot of graphic weight right here, concentrated right here, and yet here's all this white space. Not very interesting, not very well done, and I don't really have more text I'm going to put down here, so I want to find a way to use this text but spread it out through this area as well, so that I have better balance on my slide. One of the ways to do that is I'm coming up to my paragraph group, and I'm coming right over here to this button which aligns my text inside of this text box. That's all this is a text box. It holds text, and I'm going to middle align it. Okay, well, somewhat better, but now what about all of this space? I'm just dealing with this. Here's a title and then a bunch of stuff in the middle. It would be nice if I could get more room in here. If I hit an enter key to do that with, and I have to come down and hit an enter key here, and I have to hit an enter key here. And you can see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and undo those changes. And instead of doing that, I'm going to select my list, And I'm going to increase my line spacing. So I'm just going to click on this arrow and I'm going to find a line spacing that I like. That's 1.5. This is 2.0. The 2.0 covers it, but I don't like that much space in between my lines of text. I think what I'll probably do is return to 1.5. Now I don't know about you, but anytime I see something that says option, more, advanced, I gotta look. What are my capabilities in here? So here's my spacing. I can leave. You can see what all of a sudden I can do. I can choose how much spacing goes before or after. So if I want to add a little spacing, let's just see what happens if I put 12 points. Can you see what's happening? Now I'm spacing it a little more, and I think I'll live with that. So that's dealing with line spacing and adding line spacing options in our list. We can, of course, do the basic paragraph, center, right, justify. We can have columns. I'm going to go back to my title slide. I want my title slide. I've decided I think what I'd like to do is have my title slide just so the title is on 2 lines, 36 being too much. 36 being too little, 40 being too much. So I'm going to hover on 36 and I'm going to go type in 38. I didn't have an option. 38 works. I wonder if 39 works. I'm going to type in 39. Oops, I'm back to 3. I want it as big as possible on 2. So I'm going to try a 38.5. And my guess is that's about as big as it can get. I can work in half point size fonts by typing them in. I think I'll come down, and in this one I want to open some space horizontally. So I'm going to see if I can find a way to make a little room horizontally. I come back to my font group and I notice I have this, and I can loosen up my font. I'm just adding space between the words, a little space between the letters. Spread that out so I can give it a little more weight as well. Without increasing the font size, I'm just opening up the characters a little bit. Now, one of the formatting tools we have available for us is the ability to take text and apply a word art style. Word art style. Here's my gallery again, and of course live preview says hover and get the style you're looking for. I'm just going to go back in there and say, yeah, I like that, and for that character I'm going to do that, and then of course, as I said, how can there not be more? I can choose colors to work with. I can choose outlines to work with. What happens if I give it a dark outline? So now I have that base color. Let me click out of there. I have the base color, but now I go in and put a darker line around it, and you can see what's going on. Get a little more emphasis, a little more bling sort of effect. I'm going to come down to my text effect. I do have a shadow, a reflection. You can see it here, but maybe I want to change that reflection. And oops, excuse me. And let's see if I can get this. I think I'll apply it to this one. How's that? Reflection, and increase the depth of that reflection. Can you see how much space I've created there? So many choices. Change the bevel. These characters here have a bevel. I'm just going to go into text effects. Say, okay, what can I do with my bevel? This is the bevel that's being used. What happens if I want it to be? Oh, I don't know. This kind of a bevel or this kind of a bevel. Sort of subtle changes, but some. Okay, so play. That's all I can keep telling you. Play. Do something and don't ever quit. Just play until you see what all you can do. What changing an effect, what, just playing with an effect does. You can always do a Control Z or an undo, in other words, to recover from a screw up. How can you learn if you don't play? Have a good time. Thanks for listening.